for Free Advice Friday. Today I'm talking about how not to handle the biggest weakness question during interview. This week's topic is another request, which I love because that means that these sessions have been valuable and useful for people, and that's the whole purpose. That's why we do it. This question is also something that I've been told comes up in high school interviews. So for when kids are going from primary school and interviewing to go to a particular high school, which I shouldn't be surprised at, but I was. So hopefully we can help people on a few different levels this week with answering that question. The actual question itself, personally, I think it's a rubbish interview question. There are a few schools of thought on this one amongst people who do a lot of the interviewing and screening of applicants. It's not a question that I ever asked a candidate that was coming through when I interviewed. I believe it's nowhere near as effective as going into situational or behavioural style interviewing. However, people still ask it. I might roll my eyes, but they do. So that being said, today your biggest takeaway needs to be that this question has to be not just left as answering with a weakness. You have to turn this into a positive, all right? Don't ever forget that you're selling yourself. So you turn that into a positive, or you add in how you're overcoming that and working on it, all right? We're going to work on making a sandwich and tucking that weakness inside some really good layers, okay? So the first step, know your weakness. My husband and I chatted about this last night, actually, when we were talking about today's video, and I said to him, no, I'm going to be talking about weaknesses and how to answer that question during interview. And I have decided to use the example of myself that we talked about last night. So if I was asked this question today, I would identify that while I'm fabulous at what I do and I deliver the core service of my business very well, I will often overlook some of the finer administrative detail that keeps a business ticking along as a whole. So for example, I get caught up working with a client and I get really excited about what we're doing, and I will put off or forget that I need to back up my computer drives or enter expenses for the accountant. But because I'm aware of that weakness, I've been able to put things in place to address that. So I've downloaded the ATO app and I enter and track my expenses easier. I've set up regular calendar reminders to back up my computer. So I'm becoming better at setting systems up to keep me in track and ensure that I'm on top of everything. Okay. Did you notice my sandwich? So that's gone in and I've answered the question, but positive, weakness, overcoming it. That's the sandwich as a whole, all right? And that's how we're going to work on addressing those for you, all right? Second step, keep the actual answer relevant to keep the actual answer about the weakness brief, okay? And round it out with what you're doing to either overcome it or improve on it. All right, this leaves things on a positive note. Like I said, don't ever forget that you're selling yourself here. All right, keep going back to the positives, even in a silly interview question like, what is your greatest weakness? Okay. Third and final step, be honest, but don't mention things that are key job requirements. So if you're applying for a role as a customer service rep, don't ever say that your greatest weakness is that you dislike dealing with the general public. Okay, if you're applying for a job as a project manager, don't say that you struggle with multitasking. You may need to reassess your career path, but if you don't say those things, you'll get through that question in the interview process, okay? All right, so do yourselves a favor, prepare for these questions, all right? Even if it isn't asked during the interview, you'll be doing some really valuable self-reflection, and self-reflection always leads to growth and improvement. Okay. Essentially, the final takeaway that you need to have is sandwich that weakness. Do not leave it on a short, simple, this is my weakness. That's it kind of note. All right. You need to sandwich it in with a positive and make sure that you're leaving it on a positive outcome for the interviewer. That's it, guys. That is one that I was asked to talk about a few weeks ago. So we've got it done. If you have any requests as to what you would like to see done in a Free Advice Friday feature, please feel free to send them through to me. I have a couple that I'm working through at the moment, but I'm always open to hearing about more and making sure that we're delivering the right content that's actually helpful for you guys. Have a fabulous Friday and enjoy your weekend. Bye.